بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. بخير بن خوش قبلان يا عزيز. I'm going to be recording this video entirely in English because I'm making this video specifically for a friend that is weak in the English and Arabic languages, and so they need extra help understanding this. But I hope that it can serve as a help to all students that are struggling with the Kurdish language, maybe people even learning the Kurdish language. So we'll get started, and I hope everybody benefits from this. All right, so the exam that we're doing, the 60 exam, the final exam, is gonna have for the grammar, it's gonna be from page 8 to 43. Page 8 starts with جۆرەکانی پاڕستە. To understand Parsta, we have to understand the main topic of Rastê Aveta. Rastê Aveta is Rastêyeki واتاداری سربەخۆ لە دوو ڕستەی سادە شارستە و پارستەیان زیاتر پێک دێت و یاریدەدەری وشەی لێکدەر دەدرێتە پاڵ یەکتر. Rastê Aveta is a compound sentence. We can kind of use it as we can kind of relate it to conditional sentences. It's a sentence that is made up of two parts, the Sharasta and the Parsta. If we look at the etymology of Sharasta is made up of Sha and Rasta. Sha means king or the dominant, and Rasta is sentence. So from that we know that the Sharasta is the dominant part of the Rastê Aveta sentence. And the Parsta, which is the second part of the Rastê Aveta, is Parsta, meaning after, or the helping, or the secondary Rasta. So that's the secondary sentence. So now we've established two things. First, we've established what a Rastê Aveta is and the parts of Rastê Aveta, which are Sharasta and Parsta. And this topic is going to dive into the types of the second type of the second part of the Rastê Aveta, which is the Parsta. Syringe. Rastê Aveta لە دوو ڕستەی سادەی سربەخۆ پێک هاتووە. لە ڕستەی ئاوێتەدا وشەی لێکدەر هەیە، لە هەر یەک لە ڕستە سادەکان یەک کارمان هەیە. لە ڕستەی ئاوێتەدا پاڕستە دەکەوێتە دوای وشەی لێکدەر. Okay, so syringe, or the focus of this topic, is Rastê Aveta لە دوو ڕستەی سادەی سربەخۆ پێک هاتووە. The Rastê Aveta is made up of two independent sentences, the Sharasta and the Parsta. We've established that. The second focus is we have a connecting word in between the Sharasta and the Parsta, وشەی لێکدەر. ئامراز یان جێناوی لێکدەر. We're going to have connecting words in between. This is the focus. We're going to have connecting words in between the Sharasta and the Parsta so we can turn them into a Rastê Aveta. If I bring you two sentences, like he goes to school, he studies. These are just two separate sentences, but I have to connect them through a connecting word, like he studies, then he goes to school, that word then, or so, or these words are the connecting words that make these Rastê Aveta, because without them it's just two independent sentences that don't really help you at all. The first, and the هر يك لرستكان سادكان يك كارمان here. In both sentences we need to have a verb. Kar means verb, and so in both sentences there is a separate verb. There's two verbs in Rastê Aveta. One is in the Sharasta, one is in the Parsta. لە ڕستەی ئاوێتەدا پاڕستە دەکەوێتە دوای وشەی لێکدەر. The Parsta, the وشەی لێکدەر always comes before the Parsta. The connecting word has to come before the Parsta. So usually the Sharasta is the first part of the sentence, but this is not always the case. In some cases you can have the Sharasta in the second part of the sentence, but how do you identify which one is the Sharasta and which one is the Parsta? Based on the connecting words. Because if the connecting word was in the beginning, that means the Parsta has to come after the beginning word, so the Parsta is always also going to be in the beginning and the Sharasta is going to be at the end. So we relate and we identify completely based on the connecting word. And now we can move on to the next part. Okay, so this is the second part, but I want to give a quick note. The book is the way the book is written is a very ugly way that you're not going to understand anything from. So I suggest you go based off of the mezama that I'm using right now. But just so we can move forward, جۆرەکانی Rastê Aveta. Binchina kind of stands for foundation. So we're looking at the foundations of the Rastê Aveta, or the conditional sentence we could say. Sharasta ئەو بەشەی Rastê Aveta کە واتەیەکی تەواو سەربەخۆ دەدات بە سوێتی واتای پاڵستە تەواو دەکات. وشەی لێکدەر Piesh nakivet. The Parsta is the dominant part of the sentence and it has an independent meaning of its own. The Parsta does not have an independent meaning of its own. And the Parsta does not have a connecting word before it. The Parsta has to have a connecting word before it. That's how we identify it. أو بشير بارستا أو بشير السعاية ك واتاكي بند بواتاي شارستا هر وشي اللي يقدري بيش ذكيت بشكل بارستا. The connecting word is always a part of the parsta, and the parasta's meaning is completely tied to the sharasta. For example, it's completely tied to the parasta. We can see the examples right below. These are the words that are brought in the Parsta or the Parsta and the Rasta Ayata that connect to the Parsta and the Parsta together. They don't have to be in the middle, they just have to be before the Parsta. Like, they tie them together. بەڵام جێناوی لێکدەر هەم شوێنی ناوێک دەگرێتەوە کە پێشتر باسی کراوە هەم شارستەکەی پێکەوە گرێ دەدات. These words are the connecting words that can be used. These are not the only words, but these are some of the words that are brought in as examples. Net bistua, have you not heard? That strength is in unity. And so net bistua over here, assume that there's no highlighting or no circling. Net bistua, have you not heard? That gives an independent meaning of its own. But if I say that strength is in unity, that, the word that in the middle completely nullifies its meaning as an independent sentence. If I said that strength is in unity, that means, okay, that's a pretty good independent sentence. Like, it has meaning alone. But when I added that connecting word in the beginning and I made it a part of the parasta, it completely nullifies its independent meaning. So we look at the meaning of the one before it. We see that a comma was used, which is very common in the Rasta Ayata. Nadbistu, have you not heard? That's a completely independent, alone sentence. And now whatever comes after have you not heard is only a complement. That is what the Parsta is. And that complement is brought in by connecting the complement through a connecting word, which here is ka. Have you not heard that unity is, that strength is in unity? Nadbistu here is the Parsta. Ka is the abrazi legdar. It is the connecting word or the connecting amraz. Amraz doesn't necessarily mean word. It's mostly like small word that doesn't have a meaning of its own. That's the parasta. And this was the example. This was a like topic alone, and now we're gonna move on to the other finishing topic. All right, now we're gonna move on to the ways. How can we get Parsta Parsta in a sentence? How are, like, the examples of Parsta Parsta of in a Rasta Ayata? How could they, come in the exam? This is how they could come. Parsta pesh Parsta dakiyot. Bazori la Rasta Ayata da Parsta pesh Parsta dakiyot. Most cases, that's why I said most cases, but like not all the time, the Parsta or the dominant sentence comes before the Parsta or the helping or the complementary sentence. Parsta plus وشي اللي plus Parsta makes a Rasta Ayata. This is one of the examples of a Rasta Ayata. Parsta, the dominant sentence, plus a connecting word, plus the complementary sentence make a Rasta Ayata, or a long sentence with a complement. And so, I think we can move on. This is the second part, So, Parsta, this is another example. Juan nahat bo kitab khana. Juan is a person. Juan did not come to school. That's an independent sentence that has an independent meaning. Chunka nakhoshbu, because she was sick. And so chunka nakhoshbu, we can see from chunka, the word chunka, which means because she did not come to school. If I say because she did not come to school, if I say she didn't come to school, that's an independent sentence with an independent meaning. But if I say because she didn't come to school as an independent sentence, that completely nullifies the independent meaning. So surely that there is Parsta before it that this could become a complement to, and it does. Juan nahat bo kitab khana. Juan did not come to school because she was sick. That is a Rasta Ayata, where the Parsta comes first, which is the red part, where the amrazi leg or the wushay legdar comes in the middle, which is the highlighted part, and the khosh bu Parsta comes at the end, which is the blue part. Now we can move on to the third type, which is, I hope the camera is not blurry. Parsta pêş şarsta det. Hendik jar rudedat parsta pêş şarsta bker. Sometimes the parsta could come before the şarsta. And this is an example for that. It says, the blue part is the parsta. Ka bahar hat dashim bo seyran. Ka bahar hat. Here we notice, or we identify the parsta in the beginning, which is the blue part, because of the highlighted blue part, which is the connecting word, or the amrazi legdar. Because the amrazi legdar always comes before the parsta. And so here, that's how we identify if you're bad with meanings. So it's good to memorize ka, it's good to memorize balko, it's good to memorize chunka, it's good to memorize balki. Hamu ushana, all of these words are good to memorize, because if you don't know meaning, you can immediately like, oh, I got a sentence. Okay, let me look for the connecting word. And you look for the connecting word and you see it's in the beginning. That's it. Your parasta is in the beginning. And so now we have the questions. But first the shlova. Kurdistan kan yishtimaneki dalgira khosha. Oh, this is the third part. Sharasa dubasha parasa lanandi rostea avetadaya. This is the third and final part, which is the most kind of complicated, or the one that requires the most thought. It's where the parasta comes in the beginning and the sharasta is split across two sides. Like there was a sharasta and then it was split open to put a parasta right in between. Ayib nabi. Kurdistan, kanishtimaneki dalgira, which is you could say wholesome or like heartful place, or nation. Kurdistan, which is a heartful nation, is fun. Here, how can we identify this? First, we can look at the commas. If the sentence gives you commas, if it gives you two commas or two apostrophes, we can, like for example, right over here and right over here. It has given us two commas which act as an identifier for us, and we can use that identifier to identify our sharasta. We can also use meaning in this case. If I say kanishtimaneki dalgira, first I highlighted, I realized that there's a connecting word there, and I know that the parasta always comes after the connecting word. And so if I say kanishtimaneki khosha, I notice that doesn't give a full meaning. Or kanishtimaneki dalgira, that doesn't give a full meaning. Or if I say kanishtimaneki dalgira khosha, that not only does not give an independent meaning, but it gives a grammatically wrong meaning. So that cannot be completely the parasta. So I go and I find the statement kanishtimaneki dalgira, I highlight that off, and I look at the other words. Kurdistan khosha, that gives a completely independent meaning. It's a statement. And so that's how I can know if the parasta is in the middle. If it's put in the middle, Kurdistan kanishtimaneki dalgira khosha. Or you could just, based on how your mouth stops at the end of the sentence, Kurdistan kanishtimaneki dalgira khosha. Like that sounds unnatural. Kurdistan kanishtimaneki dalgira khosha. That pause, that natural pause, that innate disposition to pause right there is what could give you that identifier that the Kurdistan and khosha are the sharasta, and kanishtimaneki dalgira is the parasta, which you can also know by the ka, which is the connecting word before the parasta. So here we have all these identifiers. Now, this is just an independent question. Before we go on to the types of the parasta, we can look at this topic. It says, question in the sentence which says, I ate the pomegranate, but I picked up the grapes. But, the word but, balam, over there acts as a connecting word. It's also highlighted. Trekam halgirt, the blue is the parasta, and hanarakam khward is the sharasta. We can also use our, logic again. Hanarakam khward, I ate the pomegranate. That's it, you just gave me an independent full meaning. Balam, trekam halgirt. If you say trekam halgirt, that is also a completely independent meaning. But like I said, if you add that connecting word before it, you have immediately nullified the independent meaning. But I picked up the grapes. If someone just walks up to you, but I picked up the grapes, that's not gonna have any meaning. You're not gonna understand what this dude is talking about. So obviously he said something before. What did he say? I ate the pomegranates, but I picked up the grapes. That is, the logical way to go about it, but you can also just, look at the connecting word. The connecting word comes in the middle of the sentence. That means that after the sentence, till the end, it's going to be the Parsta, because it gives you a full meaning. It's already a full meaning, and you have the balam. There's no commas. You can just base it on that. What type of sentence is this completely? It's the rasta ayata, because it's made out of two parts and there's a connecting word in the middle. Sharastaki derbakha. Find the sharasta. Hanarakam khward, the red one. Parastaki diarbka, balam trekam halgirt, this. If they ask you to show the parasta, you always include the connecting word. You don't just write it alone, because the connecting word is a part of the parasta. Balam chia. What is balam in this sentence? What is but in this sentence? Eki chia. Ambrazi legdara. Sharasa parasa peko gredat larasi ayutada. Ambrazi legdar. It's a connecting word. Ambrazi legdar. Sharasta and parasta are essential vocabs in this topic, because the questions are going to be based on these three vocabs. They're going to ask you which is ambrazi legdar. They're going to ask you which is sharasta. They're going to ask you which is parasta, and you have to know that. And here's just giving an explanation. Sharasa parasa peko gredat larasi ayutada. Connects the sharasta and the parasta in ayuta sentence. And now we're gonna move on to جۆرەکانی Parsta, but my camera's charge is getting low and the electricity just went out, so I'm gonna edit this out. I'm gonna publish it so you guys can benefit, and I'm gonna continue on the other parts as well. Inshallah, and I hope everybody has an amazing day. خواتم لقال.